The video. So today we're going to be doing, well, it's supposed to be a 500 subscriber special, but we've blown past that. We've actually recorded this twice, or this is the second time. Hopefully it'll work this time, but I'm here today with Jacob Cox. So, since I probably don't have enough questions, do you want to talk about your channel? And, like,
Sure.
what happened, or I don't know what you do?
I like to fish a lot, like an excessive amount of fishing. I like to do fishing. I like to build aquariums. I love reptiles and fish and stuff, but mainly just fishing. I grew up fishing a lot, and that's kind of what I do.
So one of the first questions is, I saw your recent video and the hurricane. How bad was the damage?
So where we are right now, we didn't get hit. The hurricane kind of hit in the panhandle, so we didn't get bad damage at all. There was like a tree fell down, but I'm sure there's supposedly a lot of flooding, and up in the panhandle there's probably a lot of damage because it was like a Category 3 hurricane from what I've heard. So thankfully not that bad, but I'm sure it's not that good.
How did your love for fishing start?
I've kind of just grown up fishing my whole life, and
Too.
like ever since I was born, like I was trying to catch bigger and bigger fish, and that just kept on going. And I mean, fishing's just a lot of fun. You never know what you'll catch, so I just love catching fish and just not knowing what's at the end of your rod, you know?
Yeah, that's how I got started fishing too. Hunting, fishing. I was just born into that, and I'm thankful that I have parents that have allowed me to do that. Because I know some of my friends, they didn't grow up fishing. Their parents really don't fish. Same with like reptiles. My dad, he's not the biggest fan of reptiles, but it's not like he doesn't like them, and he's taught me enough to where I know the good ones, bad ones, and stuff like that. What inspired you to create a YouTube channel?
I kind of, like, ever since I was little, I've watched YouTube and stuff, and I've always wanted to create a channel, and my brother got a GoPro because he was going to start a channel, and, I mean, that kind of just, like, made me snap and, like, alright, I'm going to start a channel. So I just started using my mom and dad's computer and their camera and stuff, and that's kind of how I just got into it.
Yeah, I started my channel using my mom's phone. I still don't have a phone yet, but I use an iPad. I have a GoPro, I have a camcorder. I am wanting to get a new camera soon. These questions are just random. What's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
The biggest fish I've ever caught with help was a 10-foot bull shark, but the biggest fish I've ever caught by myself was probably like a 40-pound black drum or somewhere around there.
What's your favorite fish to catch?
Black drum. They're so fun. They fight really, really hard.
Here, our freshwater drum, we consider them trash fish.
Trash fish? Oh.
Do people eat them down there, black drum?
So they eat the smaller ones, but the bigger ones tend to have a bunch of worms. So they kind of just catch them for game fish, and then the smaller ones they'll keep and eat. Yeah,
that's the same with like channel cats up here, and I don't really think you want to eat a big fish. It's just like taking away, because a big drum will have lay a bunch of eggs.
Yeah.
What was your favorite video to film?
That's a really good question. Probably one of the black drum ones. I really enjoyed. I can't remember the title of it, but me and my brother Nathan went out and we caught a bunch of them. That was probably my favorite video to film because me and my brother were both there and we were both just catching tons of black drum.
I just went saltwater fishing for the first time. It's a lot different.
Oh yeah.
I didn't catch any big fish, just a bunch of catfish and pinfish and stuff like that, but it's fun. How do you edit your videos and film your videos?
Like the platform that I use? I film with a GoPro Hero 9, and I use just a basic iMovie. It's kind of outdated, so it's not the best, but that's what I use.
I don't like editing on a computer. It's just I've done it before. It's just very complicated. So I like using the simple mobile apps like InShot. I love that one. I used who is your favorite YouTuber?
Ooh, that's another good question. Um, one of my favorite YouTubes for sure is his channel is called Deer Meat for Dinner.
I love him.
Yeah,
I've watched
I started
him for a
watching him
while.
before I came down here, and he's kind of like one of the reasons why I fish a ton and stuff.
Didn't he have a heart
So
attack or a stroke or something?
yeah, he had 2 strokes.
Not a question. In your opinion, what is the most annoying fish to catch? Like if you're fishing and there's just one fish that you keep catching.
I know that one for sure. It's a catfish.
Uh-huh.
I hate catfish. I don't like him.
I got I got stung by a hardhead catfish when I was saltwater fishing. It's a lot worse than a channel cat up here. Um, Also, if you didn't know, he's from Florida, so he does a lot of saltwater fishing. I do not. Um, what is your favorite lure or bait to use? If it's a secret bait, you don't have to tell us, but
Oh. Um, I really like. There's these paddle tails called Z-Man paddle tails, and they're really tough and durable, and anything will eat them, like freshwater and saltwater. So you can use them for like snook, bass, tarpon, even black drum. Anything will eat them, and I mean they're not too expensive. They can get a little pricey, but you're paying for quality. They're really good.
I think my favorite, I'm not sure what brand it is. No, it's Guggen. This Guggen frog, or no, it's Guggen buzz toads. Those are my favorite, and they're very
Why did you
expensive.
start your channel?
Um, well, I've always like when I was little, I used to film myself with my animals and stuff. At one point, I had like 20 spiders. Uh, None of them were like kept properly, but I was like 5 or 6, so it doesn't matter. um, I think I, I started it because I learned how to, and I've always wanted one. And I didn't really think it would grow that much. Just did it for fun. But I'm still trying to hit 1,000. I have a cool video planned for 1,000. Just have to get there. Can't afford it yet, but we will at one point.
Yeah, you'll get there. You're pretty close already. I mean, you're
Yeah,
like at. Are you at 650?
I think it's 6:30. I have to look. I haven't been posting much shorts lately. I've been really focusing on my editing. It's not too good, but it's not bad. My video's been averaging around 70 views, the long ones, which is crazy. What fish will you've caught a bunch of? I can't talk. What's a fish you caught hundreds of that just you never get tired of catching?
Um, Probably rainbow trout. We used to live on a lake in Alaska, and we would catch a bunch of those. They're fun to catch, and they taste really good too. So
That's a fish. That's a fish we have up here that a lot of people fish for them, but there's no wild ones. They're all stocked. Um,
oh,
they stock a bunch of rivers and stuff. If you go farther, like in like Columbus, there should be some wild ones, but where I am right now. Um, for me, it's probably smallmouth. Um, I've been fishing for smallmouth for literally since I was like my first fish ever was a smallmouth. Since I was like 3, and they put up a really good fight, and they're a lot different than a largemouth.
yeah. I've never caught a smallmouth before. They're
And you
not
do
down here in
some.
Florida.
No, that's for sure. The biggest one I caught was 5 pounds, and that's like an absolute monster. And it was in Dale Hollow. It was crazy, and it was
That's
at
a big
2.
one.
It was so hot. We had to fish at night. It was at 2 a.m. Barely keep my eyes open. Then it was the first smallmouth we caught the entire night, and it was the biggest one I've ever seen.
That's a really big bass.
And then I just recently, no, it was last year. No, yeah, it was my last birthday. Went to Ocala. Yeah, Ocala. We went on a lake. It's a smaller lake, and I'm not gonna say which one. I actually kind of forget the name of it. And We went with a guide. The biggest one we caught was 7, 8. Biggest bass, at least. I didn't catch it. I caught like a 5.5 pounder. It's not that we don't have big largemouth here, but they're just very hard to come by.
Oh,
You have to, and usually they're in little farm ponds.
oh, okay.
The largemouth fishing in lakes isn't the best, but you can find some. What is your dream fishing trip? Like something you just want to do?
I really want to go to the Amazon and catch like peacock bass. I really want to catch arapaima and like piaras.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are scary.
Oh.
They're really cool. That's my ultimate dream.
Here, for me, I want to go tarpon fishing. Like big tarpon. My uncle used to be a charter captain, so he definitely knows how to catch them. They're so cool. They're just like giant shad.
Yeah. I believe in Costa Rica they have like the record-sized tarpon. I'd love to go there.
Closest thing I really caught to a tarpon is a shad, which is just like a bait fish we use. Fishing lure that's overrated, that like people talk about so much that's just overrated, you think?
Probably. I've heard lots of things about DOA paddle tails, and they're a good paddle tail, but like I've heard that they're like the best paddle tail. In my opinion, Z-Mans are better because you get a better price and they're tougher. But I think DOA paddle tails are a little bit overrated.
Yeah. For me, I know I said I love Guggen frogs, but just Guggen baits in general, I think it's just because they're, I would say, a trendy bait company. Which, don't get me wrong, they make good lures. It's just they're overpriced.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Especially, and like Gary Yamamoto, I love their lures. They're just very expensive. You're paying like $10 for a pack of worms. And I go through a lot of them.
That's pretty expensive for worms. My goodness. That Robin Hood shot was really cool.
Yeah. So my friend watched the video. He's like, "Why didn't you break the arrow?" Because it's a it's a metal arrow. Or carbon fiber arrow.
It was still really cool. I'm not that good with a bow.
Yeah. We only bow hunt. That's all we do. I love bow hunting. It's just I love getting really close to deer to the point where you can see the steam coming out of their nose or the breath coming out of their nose.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people hunting is just sitting and waiting. Yeah, I'm not patient enough to start hunting. That's not really all that true because some of our hunting spots, the deer are already there before we get there. So it's just some miscommunication. Do you have any tips for people to start fishing, like how to get them into fishing?
I would say like if you're thinking about fishing and you just can't fully commit, just at least try it. Like give it a try because the thrill of just fighting a fish is unreal. It's just so much fun to just hook into a fish and then be able to like take pictures with it and then like have your experience and stuff. It's just super fun. At least just give it a try.
And I think a tip for taking people fishing is taking them to an overstocked farm pond with a bunch of fish so they actually catch fish. Also, I think another like miscommunication, whatever, is like fishing is just sitting and waiting because people that say that have only fished for like bluegill and with a bobber and a worm, which yeah, you can catch fish that way, but that's not fun.
Yeah, you gotta go track the fish down and like move from spot to spot because like people would just sit there and wait in one spot for 10 hours and not catch anything when they could have sat there for 30 minutes and then moved and caught more fish.
Another good tip, getting polarized glasses and sight fishing. That's the best way to catch smallmouth here. especially in creeks.
Polarized glasses are key because then you can actually see in the water and you won't get a hook in your eye.
And knowing what you're fishing for. What is your favorite animal?
Favorite animal?
Hmm.
My favorite animal is probably dog. I mean, I've had dogs my whole life, and they're just so personal, and you can have them for years and years. So probably dogs are my favorite.
A lot of people don't know this. I did not grow up having a dog. I dogs, but I love dogs. I always have. It's just they take up a lot of time. They're huge. Well, some of them. I love big dogs. Um.
I
So
used
you
to have
said you lo-
200 pounds of yard.
um. So you said you love building aquariums. Like, what would you if you built an aquarium? What fish would you want to put in it? Like, have any fish to put in an aquarium?
Any fish? Ooh, oh, that's a good question. I really want to get stingrays. Stingrays are really cool in my opinion. I'd love to get like a saltwater pond and put stingrays and groupers in it. That'd be really cool.
I've done. I've had my share of fish. I mean, I like fish. I just don't want an aquarium. I want a pond, like a koi pond or something, which we are planning on building one. Not, that's probably going to be next spring. And I also want to have native fish. I'm not a big fan of I like koi. They're cool, but I really like native fish, like smallmouth, long ear, which someday you need to come down here and catch some. Maybe. This video gets 23,000 likes. I'll send it. Anyway,
2,000 likes is a lot.
this video gets 1 million views, goes viral. What is your favorite reptile? So you said your favorite animal was a dog. What's your favorite reptile? And like, if you could have one.
My favorite reptile is probably a black dragon. They're really, really cool. I want to get one. They're really expensive, but on a realistic note, my favorite reptile is a bearded dragon because I can afford that. But my dream reptile is a black dragon.
Yeah, I'm not like, I love monitors and stuff. If I were to get one, it'd be a Nile monitor or a Asian water monitor. Because if I could afford one, I would obviously have enough space to keep one. So it's a Mexican black king snake. I love Mexican black king snakes. Uh, they're just like a pure black snake. Some of them will have white on them, but just pure black.
That's pretty cool. I'll have to look into that.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you.